Okay, so this is going to be my version of the Zettelkasten note-taking method. I was somewhat inspired by Elizabeth Phillips' database on Notion as like her second brain, and her version of the Zettelkasten note-taking method. But I wanted something a little bit different, that suited my needs a little bit more. But if you haven't already seen her video, I will try and leave a little link for it in the description below. But essentially, her setup is like this. She has the main topic here, and then she has the subtopics here, and then it'll go down into, let me just delete that, and then it'll go down in I guess subtopic, so it'll go deeper and deeper. So for example, here is life design, and then you have the general of designing your life, and then you have living like an ancient Greeks, and then below that is a straightforward life is depressing, and then she would have her sources up here, and she has primary source, secondary source, and tertiary sources. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the way her system works is that the primary sources are direct indirect support of this statement that she has here, and then the secondary sources are indirect supports, or yeah, supports but very slightly, and then the tertiary ones I think refutes it or contrasts it. Not entirely sure, but I believe that's what she said, if I'm not mistaken. And then she has basically the main topics that she's interested in her life, and just major statements as she sees life to be. And then, yeah, her sources to back it up. Now, I really, really like this, but then I wanted something, yeah, that's a little bit more suited for my needs. And what I do, she's great at this, where she actually takes apart her sources as she's doing them, I think, and she takes her notes accordingly. I am kind of all over the place, and I like to take my notes in like across like several different oh, that's weird. Okay. This is a different sorry, this is gonna bug me, so let me just change this. Okay, I take my notes in several different areas. So basically I would have like a general area, notes taking area, where I just actually take very extensive notes on things across like a particular topic. It seems a little bit bare right now just because I'm working on it and I just started on this new workstation. But yeah, I would have a question, and then I would break it down, like I would lump some, like all these sources and notes that I have on that particular topic. And then that's one way I would do it, or I would have like other miscellaneous stuff like my shopping list or whatever. And then I would have book notes, so I would take notes from books. And initially what I had was like a complete database that included everything. So my book notes, my YouTube notes, any quotes I found from different people that I really liked, that resonated with me. I and yeah, I think that's a lot of what basically like scraps of things all lumped together in one huge database. And yes, there were categories and everything to separate it, but I still didn't like the look of it. And it just entirely, if I looked at I had different views of that database that allowed me to see what I wanted to see at that time. So for example, I had oh, this is another thing that I would do. I would have thoughts notebook, so where all my random thoughts are. I should have not have shown that, but yeah, all my random thoughts, and then I would take notes on my random thoughts, and I everything was kind of all over the place, and I didn't really like it, and all lumped together in one major database. Instead, what I wanted was clean cut, separate databases, and I just like different icons to show that to make it really easy to look at. And I wanted the capability of having a major note like this, like just going somewhere, like throwing in a note somewhere, and then basically later being able to extract a certain piece from that note, like here. Sorry, I'm going to delete this right now. I'll explain why after. I was actually creating it like this, but I think it's much easier to create separate databases instead of creating things like this, or creating relations back to the main database. Okay, there you go. So here, so for example, I wanted to be able to create a big document like this, just as inspiration strikes me, but then I wanted to be able to later come back to the document and be able to take out little bits and pieces of information, and categorize that separately. So for example, think about what would make the sacrifice worth it. What greater purpose are you serving? This is a thought from like this summary. This is the main thought that I got from this video above it, and I tagged this entire note as purpose, but I want to make this about sacrifice as well. So I'm going to add a property. I've created a new notes tidbit. So I'm going to take little tidbits from the notes and have this will be its own database for it. So this is a good example of how to make it. Basically, all I did was create a new page and then did notes, tidbits, blah, blah, blah. Tidbits v2. I'm going to delete this, and then create a table and then change the icon here. And that's where I was at this point. So I'm just going to delete this for now. Okay, and go back to here. So the database is created, and what I usually like to do is set a template. So this will be okay. And I'm going to delete this. I'm going to set that template to default so it always picks that icon. I set the template just for that icon, that's all. Obviously you could do more with it, but for now that's all I'm keeping it at. And then I'm going to add a relation back to the notes. So notes, relation will be notes. And I'm going to have it two-way because I want this to show up on the notes tab as well if I extract anything. So add relation and no limit because I don't want any limits on my thought process, and I'm sure you might not either. Who knows? So here I'm gonna have, so now you see that property show up. I'm in the notes database now, and you see that property show up, notes tidbit. So now I'm gonna add this to here. So I've created a note in the notes tidbit database, and I'm gonna add, I forgot to add the tags property, which links to the other database, which you'll see. So I'm just gonna create that here so I can assign another tag to it. So tags, show both, add relation, no limits on our knowledge. It's been added. And then I'm going to do sacrifice. Oops, didn't work. Come on. Oh, I hate how it doesn't. Okay. For some reason, the first one always shows up as no. I'm going to delete this. There's no icon. Delete. Okay. I'm going to go back just because it's easier. I don't want this. The main tags I think about. Sorry, I hope I didn't lose everyone with this jumping around. I'm just trying to assign it the purpose tag and the sacrifice tag because, yes, it is related to what greater purpose are you serving, that thought process, but it's also about sacrifice. So I wanted both tags to be on there. And essentially, so now I've extracted that little tidbit into here. And now if I want, I actually do want that now that I'm thinking about it, I am going to roll up the tag that I assigned to this note, this little extract, notes tidbit tag, and then relation notes tidbit, and I want the tags from that to come up. And now it shows me that this is the note that I had taken on it, and these are the tags that I've assigned to that note. And then if there's more notes that I take from it, there'll be more tags that I can see here. But for now, I'm gonna actually shift this up here because this is more important. This is the tag for this, and then these are the notes for that. I'm gonna also put this in between. Okay. And so that's one way of taking notes. And then there's also book notes here, which I've taken here. And similarly, I assign a tag. I have the book name here. And this links to a database as well. So for me, I could have like my thought on it. Use self-fulfilling prophecies to your advantage instead of thinking of how everything could go wrong and you're going to fail. Always think of what you need to do to win. Blah, 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 blah. And then that's basically my summary of and this is the direct quote from the book itself. And the book has its own database here, and then it will have its own separate book, its own separate tidbit notes kind of thing. And also, so I can have these little tidbits, and then also I can have notes in here in this document as well, like a big lump sum note here. And then so I can write notes here and then make them into tidbits and then assign the tags for them after. Either way, I don't know, that's kind of how I work. Like I like making bigger notes like this, and then sometimes while I'm actually reading it, I feel like I have to take the note right away because it resonates so deeply, so then I take it right away. And this allows me to do that. But in the past, it was really hard to do that and keep track of everything, and still have it be automatically organized in the way that is really easy to read. And I'll show you what it looks like at the end. So then I have the YouTube videos and the YouTube notes. Yeah, I think I'll keep it like this. And then at the end, this is the end result. It has just basically, if you compare it to Elizabeth's structure, it has basically what I would say the main card column. I didn't really organize it into its higher topic or bigger overarching topic really. I did make an attempt to it here, but it's not as important to me. I feel like this is fine as it is, and I'll show you. So it does get like, don't care what others think, it's improvement, process improvement, and this is exactly, oh, why do I have a tag that says tag? Let me delete that. I don't know why. Maybe I was testing it. Yeah, that's funny. Okay. And these basically do the job for me, and obviously like if it gets to be bigger and I want some kind of connecting factor to them, I could continue to classify them. I did start doing the classifications like this. For example, character development, all of these would fall under character development, and these are linking to, you guessed it, another database here. And you can see basically I try to mimic kind of what she had, which is life and then character development, and then these are the tags and these are the roll-ups from the tags. But the only disadvantage to that is that they repeat here because they're roll-ups. So several other places they might be tagged multiple times, and that's why they come up twice. So this isn't very important to me to have this cluster. It's not that important to me. I think I'm right at this stage. I mean, I'll think of something better if I need to, but right at this stage, this is good enough. I can just I'm satisfied with just the tag itself. And if I need to bring it up into a main group, I think this is life and character development. If I do need to make it into a main group, I can assign it as I go along and see how everything kind of connects to each other. And then you could just go down the line, like for example, here you have productivity, you have all these that are related to productivity, and then you could see everything at a glance, I guess, like what, let me get rid of the note wrap so it's easier. Okay. So then you can go down the line. So life, purpose, sacrifice. You can go down the line and see what notes. Might be interesting. And yeah, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. I can quickly show you how to set it up. So essentially your main things would be the tags database. So you can start off with something like that. Tags, and then do table, and then I select all and delete because I'm going to change it. And I set the template, same icon. Okay, and then add an icon to the database. And let's say you have, you're taking notes on books. So then you would have a books database or book notes database. Let's do that first. So I have that. Book notes table. Delete. Okay, and then I would have a books database. Add the save icon. Okay, I'm just going to set it to default. I don't think I set the others to default, so I'm going to check that for all views and books. So let's check this. Yeah, I did not set as default. This way the icon will appear automatically. And then, okay. And then you can take book notes on any book that you want. And then, so, sorry, before you start taking your notes, add a relation to the books database. That way you can source up to the right book, and then add a relation to the tag database. That way you can tag it accordingly. And so here you can just say space is cool, and then it can be like, I don't know, what's that book? Spatial, I don't know, Star Trek. Lots of people know Star Trek. This is so silly, but whatever. Star Trek rules. I don't like Star Trek. I don't know why I'm putting that there. Stargate was great though. And then this one would be space. Or you can add space. The final frontier. Doing overkill on this, but whatever. Then you can do. Then you can check out your. Oh, I like to arrange it by. Oops. Yes. So I want to arrange it by this, and then tags at the very end. So I'm going to delete the tags here, do some cleanups on the. You have the book notes here, but I would like to get the book as well. But I'm going to do a roll up because I haven't tagged the book. I don't tag the books. I just tag the book notes. So I'm going to do a roll up here of books that are found referenced in book notes. So I'm getting the books from the book notes. I'll show you what I mean by that. And then okay. So it's basically pulling, you see here how we have the book. So we have this note that space is cool because it is. And then it's from this book, Star Trek Rules, because apparently it does. Just not to me. Except for the Chris one, the latest ones with Chris Pine. Those are good. Okay, delete property. And then you have the books showing up here with their related book notes. And then of course you can go in and you can write your book notes here, blah blah blah. And then here on the tags, it has the book notes and it's pulling the book name from the book notes. So if you see here then, let's say something else. So space is also very vast. Okay, and this is also from Star Trek Rules. Okay, and then we're going to do space. Again, the tag. And so what ends up happening is you have space is also very vast, and then you have another, I guess a duplicate of the books. So I don't know if it lines up exactly, but I'm assuming it does. But if we go back and say something else, then we tag anything we don't understand, or we prefix when studying space, we prefix anything we don't understand with dark, like dark matter, or there's something else as well, dark particle, something like that. And then let's do a different book. So why so emo? Space. Someone should write a book that's titled that. Doesn't exist yet, but it should. And then see, you have the book notes show up here, and then you have its accompanying. So I guess it does line it up. That's really cool. It's accompanying book title here. And then you could do the same thing with, like, let's say, okay, now you're not going to only be taking notes. You want to take, let's say, have a little diary going. You can have like a journal. I like to add the tag here, the icon here, because otherwise it looks bad. Let me try getting rid of it, see what happens. Remove, and then set table as thoughts, or thoughts represent basically a journal for me. Oh, okay, it shows up with the icon there. So thoughts. And then you can have this something else, different color maybe. Then same drill, basically. Create a template so the icon comes up. And then set the template to default. And then delete the main thing, or you can convert it into, okay, let's convert it instead. So edit property. Since this already says tags, I'm gonna do a relation on this so I don't have to change the name. Okay. Okay, and I do both ways. So it shows up on my tags database. Then okay. So that's our tags now. The arrow shows that it's a relational property, so it relates to, or it links up to a different database on our workstation. And then I'm going to delete all of these. And you can add as you see fit. Like, for example, you can have like, you can even link, have like thoughts on books. I mean, book notes represents the thoughts on books, but yeah, like you can even link up to your, if you want, to your books too, if you like. You could be like, yo, this is so mind-boggling. And this could be on your thing, I don't know, your thoughts on this book or something. And then you could be like, space, and then mind blown. Yeah, see, now you have like 2 tags. And then if you go here, this shows up. But it doesn't show up with the books. So let's say you want to see what books relate to these thoughts, like if you have any. Like if the thoughts are based on, not if you have any thoughts, is if the, oh, why is it showing up here too? Okay, so if you have any books that relate to these thoughts, you would like to know about that, let's say, one day, maybe, I don't know, books related to thoughts. And you want it relation based off of this thoughts, and it's pulling up the same data because you're asking it to pull up the name. So we're going to change that to pulling up the books. So now you know that it relates to one book only. So books related to particular thought, to particular thoughts. Okay, so then yeah, so you know, like, your mind is blown here. This is the title, so obviously you know this is mind-boggling and mind-blowing, and then you know based off of this that it's related to this book. So this book is mind-boggling and mind-blowing. So yeah, that's for the future you to know in case they forget. Very important stuff. Yeah, and that's it. That's how you set up like a whole database of nonsense. Basically. And yeah, you can go about your life taking notes everywhere you go and place it in the system, and it's all there for you and all organized and everything. So nice. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. Good luck. Oh, I might add a copy of this template to my website, and if I do, then I'll put it in the description as well. I think it'll be a free copy because why not? Maybe. I don't know. We will see. We will see. Okay. That's it. Good luck.